Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Welcome back to another episode of the KSL.com Rock and Royal podcast for all those who rock the Y the right way, covering BYU athletics in all shapes, sizes, and frames. We're going to start off with a little bit of news here, but before that, I'll make quick mention. If I sound a little bit different, it's because I'm coming from you live from sunny Orlando, Florida. That's the site of this weekend's Pop-Tarts Bowl between number 12 BYU, number 22 Georgia Tech. You can catch that at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time this Saturday on ABC. It's the People's National Championship. We're going to talk a little bit more about that towards the end of this episode, and I've also got some interviews with offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick, defensive coordinator Jay Hill, linebacker Isaiah Glasker, wide receiver Chase Roberts. They were available to the media this morning as of time of recording, Christmas Eve morning, Wednesday, December 24th. And then we're not going to get the chance to talk to any BYU players or coaches for the next 24 hours, so I figured I'd get this sound out. You can check, as always, that full video. It is up now on our YouTube channel at Rock and Royal Pod. But before, I wanted to start with some BYU volleyball news. Actually, no, let's start with BYU basketball, because the Cougs wrapped up non-conference play this Monday with an with a 30-something point win over Eastern Washington. And more important than the foe, than whatever the site was, than the margin of defeat, the spread, whatever. It was the site of AJ Dybantsa's first career triple-double. That's right, 33 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, as the 10th ranked Cougars cruised to a 109-81 win over Eastern Washington in Monday's non-conference finale. It's BYU's first triple-double, if you can believe it, since Kyle Collinsworth against UAB back on March 16th of 2016. It is the first 30-point triple-double in BYU history. Danny Ainge had a 27 or a 28-point triple-double back in the 1980s. If you want something that was reasonably close, that was the closest BYU had until this past Monday night when AJ Dybantsa went out for 33 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. He got his last assist right before he went out with 2 minutes left. He found Mihailo Boskovic, I believe it was, and Bosco definitely understood the assignment, throwing down a three-pointer to give AJ that long-awaited 10th assist. Sent the fans crazy. Very good crowd for a pre-Christmas, post-finals, non-conference finale against a Big Sky opponent in the Marriott Center. I think Cougar Nation is all in on this basketball team, but that was a pretty cool moment. And in terms of what that moment means, I don't think it's a lot. I mean, it's a Big Sky foe. BYU's defense wasn't great. Their three-point defense essentially was not good. But you got to give a little bit of credit to Eastern Washington, to Dan Monson. They came in with a game plan. They made a lot of shots, maybe even some shots that they won't always advise, that sometimes won't always work for them. But the Eagles came out hard and they swung. They just also couldn't stop BYU. They just had too much star power, led by the aforementioned Dybantsa. They had a 22-point game from Richie Saunders, double-digit scoring from Rob Wright III and Kennard Moot Davis Jr., and that's exactly what this BYU team needs moving forward as they progress next week into Big 12 conference play. Conference play starts next week, right after the new year. They're on the road first at Kansas State, and I think that's just what this BYU team is going to be. I don't think it's as deep as last year's team. Certainly a couple of season-ending injuries to guys like Dawson Baker and Nate Pickens. That doesn't help the depth. But this is a big three and maybe a big four if you throw Kennard Davis in there. That really just kind of has some role players, some nice role players around it, but really just overall role players around it. That's the depth that this BYU team has. They're going to rely a lot on their big three or their big four, in terms of main contributions, and then a little bit of shooting here and there from guys like Tyler Morus or Alexi Kostic if he can get going. The rebounding and rim presence of Keba, I think, will be significant for this team. Um, and they got a really big piece in that bit by the emergence and the uh, instatement, I guess, second semester instatement of Ahmed Abdullah. He's a native of Cairo, Egypt. 6'9", 6'10", big boy, post player. Came off of the bench the other night against Eastern Washington and had 4 rebounds in his first 4 minutes. Played about 9 minutes before leaving the game with pseudo injuries / tired legs, maybe a little bit of both. He looked kind of hurt when he was coming out. Coaches aren't really that concerned about it. We'll kind of get a little bit better an update from the medical staff when they get back into town, which, by the way, they have 12 days off. So if you need a day or two off, right now's the time to take it. Right now. But I think Badu, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but Abdullah, I think he gives BYU exactly what they need, which is a little bit of post depth, somebody to spell Keba, somebody who can come in and just kind of clean up on the glass. And his defensive game is probably further along than his offensive game. He's a unique situation because he played 2 years in the NBA G League with the Westchester Knicks, only played in 6 games as a rookie. Was the MVP or defensive MVP of the Winter League Showcase about a year ago. So he's got a really good defensive presence. His offensive game needs some work. He's got 3 years of eligibility per the NCAA, so he's got time to develop that. And I think a big reason why he came to BYU was to sort of tap into that KYU, that Kevin Young development pipeline, in terms of getting guys ready for either the NBA or just additional professional career. So it's a nice pickup. It really is, quite frankly, exactly what BYU needs, and so forth. I also wanted to touch really quick. BYU women's volleyball made a hire. You may remember they were looking for a new coach for the last 2 weeks or so since Heather Olmstead stepped down after 11 seasons with the Cougars. They've gone north now to bring home a familiar name. Utah State head coach Rob Neilson will be the new full-time assistant or full-time head coach of the BYU women's volleyball program effective Tuesday. Neilson comes to BYU after 6 seasons at Utah State, where he led the Aggies to a 112-59 record that included a program best 24-8 mark and an 18-0 finish in the Mountain West in 2025. They've been to 3 NCAA tournaments in the last 5 years, really on something of a historic run, I think, with the Aggies. 3 Mountain West regular season titles, 2 tournament titles, 12 all-conference honorees, 3 all-region selections, and an All-American nod. He was the AVCA Pacific North Region Coach of the Year in 2023 and earned Mountain West Coach of the Year honors in 2021, 2023, and 2025. If the name Rob Neilson sounds familiar to some of you, it's because he played at BYU. He was the starting setter on BYU's 2004 National Championship volleyball team, went 91-31 as a player, and graduated with the number 5 mark in BYU's rally scoring era with 2,790 career assists, as well as a top 10 mark in solo blocks with 28. So it's a dream come true for Coach Neilson, he says, to come home to BYU and coming on the run of arguably, I think, the greatest stretch in BYU women's volleyball history in 11 seasons under Heather Olmstead and a couple more while she was an assistant under her older brother, Sean, before that. You needed somebody who could take the program another step forward. Yes, the competition has gone up significantly since joining the Big 12 3 years ago, but that's not really much of an excuse. This is a program that is a breadwinner at BYU. It really is one of their bell cow programs. You need somebody that can take this program to the next level. Rob Neilson has been a part of men's volleyball at its height at BYU. He just barely did historic things at Utah State. And he wanted to be at BYU, understands the nature and the culture of the university. I think this was a hire that you could not miss on if you're Brian Santiago or that BYU athletic administration. So it's a good hire. We'll see how Rob does, but I wanted to get that one out of the way. As I mentioned before, BYU, Georgia Tech, a top 25 bout in the Pop-Tarts Bowl this Sunday. I'll have a little bit more tomorrow and then leading up to the bowl game. But I caught up with offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick during some pre-bowl press conferences earlier this morning. And I wanted to know kind of the question that was on everybody's mind with news that LJ Martin would miss the bowl game after undergoing surgery. You may remember he's still kind of in the middle, hasn't announced yet whether or not he'll come back for his senior year. He is NFL draft eligible. He's the Big 12's reigning offensive player of the year. And it's obviously a big hit to BYU's offense against the Yellow Jackets this weekend. So with that being said, I straight up asked A-Rod, what do you look for in terms of kind of replacing that production, a lot of a production, a bell cow guy, a 1,300-yard rusher in this BYU offensive system? And I thought his answer was pretty interesting. So here is some of Aaron Roderick with the media, as well as Chase Roberts, defensive coordinator Jay Hill, and linebacker Isaiah Glasker as well ahead of Saturday's Pop-Tarts Bowl against Georgia Tech.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Well, I do have confidence in those guys, but anytime you're missing the Big 12 Player of the Year, that's going to be a big loss. We went into every game this year saying LJ has to carry the ball 20 times, and then everything else follows. That's what kind of player he is. And so with the other guys, it's going to be by committee. We're going to spread the ball around and see if one of them gets hot, then maybe they'll get more carries. But right now we kind of have a plan to use all three of those guys. But I do have confidence in them, and I'm excited, especially, we kind of know what Enoch's been around and done a lot of good things for us over the years. I'm excited to see Joe Vessa play. It's time to find out who Joe Vessa is and what he can do for us in the future. And he has some juice. He has speed and makes some plays in practice sometimes that that you think, okay, that's going to show up in a real game when his time comes, but it wasn't quite his time yet because we've been trying to get the ball to LJ so much. So I'm excited to see what Joe Vessa does.
Okay, we'll go to Terry, third row.
Coach Terry Spain with Sports First Media. Quick question for you. You guys have some seniors on your team. What has been the overall message to the senior as they play their final game here in the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Man, I'm glad you mentioned that because, the seniors, these guys have done so much to help us get to this point. Our first year in the Big 12, we went 5-7, and we had some tough losses that year and some humbling losses where we really found out the hard way what it was going to take to compete at a high level in this conference. And most of these seniors were part of that. And then to put in the work and then go back-to-back 11-2 seasons, and get to the championship game this year, we came up a little short, but these guys deserve to go out the right way. And so people who think that bowl games are meaningless or whatever, it's not true, man. I still think bowl games are super important in college football because otherwise these guys don't, otherwise there's only one team in the country that gets to end the season feeling good, and there's just so many teams and there's so much hard work and these guys put into to what they do. And so I really hope for our seniors that we go out and play well and let those guys get to experience winning one more time.
One from the podium for you, Chase, as one of those seniors. What is your approach, or what is your mindset coming into your final game with BYU?
I was hoping I could just chill and hear A-Rod just speak the whole time. No, I'm just excited to go out. Like Coach Roderick was saying, we want to end with a positive feeling and to roll over into next season. We saw what it did last year when we beat Colorado in the Alma Bowl. It jump-started us into this next season. So we want to do that for the young guys, and we want to see BYU succeed. So as a senior, it's another meaningful game, and we want to end the right way and just play BYU football.
Yeah, I'm curious as a follow-up, what does your role as a captain mean to you, or what do you carry as a captain in terms of leading the team? Yeah,
you try to just be consistent every game and treat every game like it's your last, and as a senior, this is my last game, so want to show the guys how much love I have for this program and will have continuing forward. And I think this is a great way to show that, is to play hard in this game and to go out and practice and treat it like it's, an important part of this BYU football team and family. So that's what we're going to do.
We'll go back to Matt, second row.
Chase, I was going to follow up on that. You guys fall just short of getting into the college football playoff field this year. But you guys have a chance to get to 12 wins, which is something special for this program, which hasn't happened since 2001. What would it mean for you guys to finish this out with a win and to get to that 12-win mark?
Yeah, I think it was 2001 the last time BYU went, had 12 wins. So to be able to do that, as a senior and with this team and with my brothers, that'll be something super special, and will go down in the history books. And it's been such a great momentum builder going forward, like I said, and to have it with this team, this coaching staff, it'll be something special that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
All right, we'll go back one in the front row, and then we'll go to the third row.
Chase, can you break down Georgia Tech's defense, what you've seen from them on film?
Yeah, they just play hard-nosed football and tough. There's cover one. We'll see if they do more man against us. Cover three, all those, different types of variations. And it's been fun to watch their guys, and I think we have good matchups and want to win our matchups. We're going to be able to, I think, run the ball, pass the ball, do our thing against them. And like Coach was saying, it's very similar, I think, both sides of the ball with our defense. So I think it's going to be a fun matchup. It's kind of going to be like going up against our own defense, our own offense, as we go play Georgia Tech. They're very similar in a lot of ways with us. So just excited to go play and do our thing and have some fun.
We'll go to the third row on the left.
Chase, you guys have done a really nice job. I think these last couple of weeks of kind of shrugging off some disappointment from college football playoff and that kind of thing. You've really embraced sort of the spirit of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, I think, in a lot of ways. I'm thinking of like Parker, who's really embodied frosted strawberry in a lot of ways. I think, does that help you guys sort of embrace what this bowl game is, to be able to, it's no secret you guys like to stay loose and kind of stay to sort of play clean like that. Does this type of bowl game kind of help that in some ways?
Yeah, I think it fits with our culture, just being able to, like you said, play loose. It's nice and warm outside, so, it works with our muscles too. We get to play loose in that way too. And just going and having fun. I feel like we're a really mature team to where we can spend a week in Orlando and have fun at Disneyland and all that, and then go win a football game. So that's the type of team we are. That's how we've been all season, that we can have fun, do some karaoke together the day before the game, and then go out and kick some butt. So that's the kind of culture we have here and what we're going to do this Saturday.
I'm curious for both of you, Coach. You played at BYU. I know your dad played at BYU, Chase. Can you speak to just kind of the relationship you have with the university, and you see a lot of guys who come back and either play or coach there. What does the university itself mean to you?
Yeah, well, I played in the days of Lavelle Edwards, and so I think everyone that was a part of that era, you have a soft spot for Lavelle. And then I think Kalani has done a great job of sort of, he doesn't imitate Lavelle, but he has carried on a lot of the same program characteristics. And one of those things is mentioning that playoff loss is you don't play backwards, man. The next play, the next game is all that matters. And so nobody's looking back. We'll deal with that in the offseason with what things we have to do to be able to meet that challenge next year. But right now we're at a bowl game. We're going to be present. We're going to have fun, and we're going to be ready to play when the ball kicks off. And that's part of what's made this program great for a long time.
Anything else, Chase?
Yeah, I think Kalani's established a culture now that will carry on for a while, and it's been fun to see kind of the transition and the way that he's been able to build this program into, I feel like, what it needs to be and what we need to have going forward, just with the love and the learn and the culture that we have is very strong and powerful, very player-led, and we got the right guys on board. We got the right coaching staff, and I'm excited to see what BYU does going forward.
Anything else from the room? Got one in the third row left behind you, Ray.
Chase, you can't expect me to not follow up if you're going to bring up pregame karaoke with the teams, with the team and everything. What your go-to karaoke song is down here in Orlando?
We always pull out. Let's see. I don't know if I can say that one on some of them. Get. No, we keep it clean. We actually keep it clean in the karaoke. I'm trying to think of one that we jam out to. I feel like we like to keep it chill too. So we'll pull out some Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars type where we can just sing and get bumping. But it's fun.
I'll leave you with this. We'll have Coach Hill and Isaiah in here in a minute. Can you've already broken down Georgia Tech's approach. What makes your own defense click?
Is that for me?
Yeah, for both of you. What do you see as a player and a coach when you watch your own defense play?
Same. There's just a lot of great athletes. I think having Jack and Zay in the middle too just kind of scares you a little bit. And then the way that our back end plays with toughness and speed, and having Tanner Wall back there and Falatau with his 6'4" length, like it's just a solid defense that when you line up against them, you're wondering where you can find open spots and beat them, whether it's man, zone, whatever it is. So I just think we have solid players.
Agreed. I think most people underestimate how much length and speed our defense has until they see them in person. It's one of those things you watch them on tape and then they look good, and then you see them in person and it's like, wow, these guys are long and fast, and they play really, really hard, and they know exactly what they're doing every snap. They're very well coached, and they're going to hit you and tackle you, and you're going to earn every inch you get against our defense.
Let's get it.
Good morning. I guess Merry Christmas Eve to everybody. Super fun time for us to be in Orlando and be involved in a bowl game, especially against such a great opponent. We have tons of respect for Georgia Tech. They were, if you just look back 5 or 6 weeks ago, they were undefeated, one of the top 6 or 7 teams in the country. They've got a great personnel, a great coach. In a way, I don't know if you guys were at the event last night, but the 2 head coaches talked, and it's 2 very similar teams going at it. You can tell that they rely on obviously great talent, but just toughness, hard-nosed, detailed football, and that's what we're going up against. We have a ton of respect for them. They've got a really talented offensive line, love the quarterback that we're playing, and they have skilled guys on the perimeter to get the ball to. So we have our work cut out for us, but it's a task we're super excited about.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We'll start on the left here with Matt Rochelle, Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask you, when you look at a guy like Haynes King, what kind of stands out to you about him, and what kind of challenge does he present to your defense?
Well, I think his feel for the game is obvious. He can throw it, he can run it. He does a great job of distributing the ball to the right people at the right time. I mean, I really think that's what makes a quarterback, is just getting the ball to the playmakers in space and making good decisions. And he's one of the best we've faced for sure this year, and we've faced some really good ones. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, doesn't make a lot of mistakes that way. So he's one of those guys that earns what he gets, and he does a great job at it.
All right, we'll go front row left.
Hey, Isaiah, Chad Bishop from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Your impressions of Haynes King and Georgia Tech's offense?
I would just say he's a great quarterback all around. He can run, throw, and they have a great O-line. I feel like their offense moves well, and I feel like it's going to be a great challenge. So,
I'm curious, Isaiah, defensive MVP of the Alma Bowl, I believe, last year. What's your approach to bowl games? What do you hope to take away from them? It's also nice, I guess, when you can win some MVP hardware as well.
really just to win. This is the last game being around the boys, especially the seniors, and I feel like you really just do it for all of them. So.
We'll go another one on the second row left, and then we'll go third row right.
Yeah, this is for Isaiah. You guys have an opportunity to win 12 games for the first time since 2001. What would that mean for you guys, and what would it mean for the program itself to kind of continue to elevate itself over the last couple of years?
I would say really just to prove that we belong. I feel like we didn't get the opportunity we wanted to playing in the playoffs, and getting this 12th win hopefully can show what our team really can do. So
We go in third row on the right.
Terry Spain. Is it up? Terry Spain. So there are a lot of seniors on you guys' team. What has been the overall message, and how excited are you all for playing in the last bowl game of your season, of your career?
Really just to play with each other. I don't know. I love all the seniors that are here, and they've been along the ride. So I don't know. Just being able to go out there and play and get this win would be a big thing. So.
All right, we'll go third row left and then back to first row left.
Coach, a little bit on that note, you've got a lot of seniors that are pretty open about wanting to play in this game. I know the guy next to you has a pretty big decision he wants to make after the bowl game, I think, still, Zay, if I remember right. Just what is it about kind of this group of seniors that it seems like they really want to kind of finish a job with this group and go keep playing football?
Well, this is a group that when I first came to BYU they were some of the young guys on the roster, and to watch them grow and develop and put their trust in me and me put my trust in them, and just watch what it's grown into has been pretty special. And it's a great group. I mean, they've won 22 games in the last 2 years, and they've proven that they're one of the elite teams in the country, defensively and offensively this year. It's hard to watch the seniors go. For me, there's so much they put into the program: blood, sweat, tears, education, all those things that they've worked so hard to get. It's pretty special to get them to this moment. It's sad to watch them go, but this is a group now that they're going to go off into the future and be super successful, just based on what they've done in football and in their academic careers. I can't wait to watch what they become.
All right, we'll go front row left.
Jay, is this Georgia Tech offense comparable to any you guys have faced already this year, maybe beside BYU's own offense?
You know what? It is. The run game, I would say, is pretty similar to like a West Virginia or the University of Utah. There's a lot of shifts and motions and zigging and zagging, and eye discipline for the back end is going to be very critical. I really like the way they call the game. You see how one play sets up the next. I think they're very creative in what they do. They've got obviously very good talent. So these are those challenges that you get excited for as a coach, because they do. They pose a lot of challenges for us.
I'm curious, Coach, as a follow-up from the podium, I know you've got some head coaching experience from your time at Weber State. What do you think that has brought and added to the BYU program here, that perspective over the past few years you've been here?
Well, I think you become a way better assistant coach once you've been a head coach, and you know, like, what as a head coach, you know what was important to you, and you know, like, the assistant coaches and what they did to take things off of your plate as a head coach. And so I would hope that Kalani feels the same way, that me being a head coach helps him. There are things that I try to see beyond the game, like just the struggle in certain players. You get good at just seeing what these young men are going through in their lives. Sometimes you forget they're 17, 18, 19-year-old men trying to figure out how to maneuver this life. And I think that's really helped me, as a position coach, again, as a coordinator. One thing we're lucky at BYU, we get to coach some of the greatest young men in the country, I believe. They're very motivated guys. They do well in the classroom. They do well on the football field. We're pretty blessed on who we get to coach.
Any more from the room? I'll close with this for Isaiah. I know that both your parents played at sports at BYU. Can you speak a little bit to the sense of family that comes with playing at BYU? A lot of guys who had fathers and mothers and relatives who played. What's it mean to you to continue that tradition of representing BYU?
I feel like it's really important. Both my parents played at BYU, so it's just me being able to play at BYU. I'm just super grateful for it, and I'm grateful for the coaches and the players who've taken me in and showed me everything that I know. And I don't know, if it wasn't for this coaching staff, then I wouldn't be where I'm at. So I'm super grateful for that. So.
Awesome. Absent any more questions from the room? We're all set. Sounds good, guys. Thank you for being here.
We appreciate you guys being here. We know what a crazy day today is, so thank you for coming.
Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Cougs is who they want now. Red is upstate, and we don't do no uptown. Had them singing like a flute. We don't play around with no oots. Or them Aggies up in Ogden, they not rocking how we rocking. Rockin' Navy, rockin' Royal, rock your hands. Rockabye babies, rock the stands with the fans. If you with us, raise your hands. Rockabye baby, rockin' Navy. Shout out to my teams, wives and babies. Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy. Know you with me? Let's get it, baby. Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy. Know you with me? Let's get it, baby.